In Ayn Rand's Anthem, International 4 to 8818 occupies a distinctive and often underappreciated place among the novel's cast. While not the protagonist, International 4-8818's presence enriches the narrative's emotional depth and philosophical complexity. As Equality 7-2521's only close companion in a world that forbids friendship, International embodies both the lingering warmth of human connection and the tension between individual loyalty and social conformity. Through International 4 to 8818, Rand demonstrates that even in the most oppressive collectivist regimes, the human spirit retains the capacity for affection, laughter, and moral choice. Role in the narrative. International 4 to 8818 appears early in the novella as Equality 7-2521's friend and fellow street sweeper. From the outset, he is characterized by his eyes like fireflies, his laughter, and his clear singing voice. Despite the repressive environment in which they live, a society where personal attachment is forbidden, International exhibits warmth, humor, and loyalty. His friendship with Equality is described as a sin, as the laws of their society prohibit favoring one person over another. Nonetheless, he quietly defies this rule, forming an emotional bond that sustains both men in a world stripped of love and trust. Narratively, International 4 to 8818 plays a pivotal supporting role during the novel's inciting event, the discovery of the underground tunnel from the unmentionable times. When Equality 7 to 2521 uncovers the tunnel, International is with him. The moment presents both characters with a moral test, whether to report their discovery to the authorities or to protect it in defiance of the law. International hesitates, torn between fear of punishment and loyalty to his friend. Yet ultimately he agrees to keep the secret, saying simply, "We shall not tell." In this quiet act of rebellion, International reveals his moral courage and the strength of his affection for Equality. Though he does not share Equality's scientific genius or his burning intellectual curiosity, International's decision marks a crucial thematic moment in the story. It demonstrates that moral choice is not limited to the exceptional intellect, but is accessible to all who act according to conscience rather than compulsion. After the discovery scene, International recedes from the forefront of the narrative, but his earlier actions continue to resonate. Later, as Equality's rebellion deepens and he flees the city, International's absence underscores the cost of freedom. The hero must ultimately stand alone. Yet it is International's early moral support that helps make Equality's solitude meaningful rather than hollow. Symbolic significance. Symbolically, International 4 to 8818 represents the human capacity for goodness and loyalty, even in the face of tyranny. He is not a revolutionary thinker like Equality, but he is instinctively benevolent and life-affirming. His easy laughter, artistic talent, and affection embody qualities that totalitarian systems cannot entirely suppress. In a society built on fear and uniformity, International's kindness is itself an act of quiet resistance. His name, International 4 to 8818, also carries symbolic weight. Like all citizens in the novella, his name is a mechanized identifier, erasing individuality and reducing him to a number within a vast collective. Yet despite this label, International's personality shines through vividly. He cannot be mistaken for anyone else, because his natural warmth and spontaneity set him apart from his gray, joyless peers. Rand uses him to show that the individual spirit cannot be entirely extinguished by external conformity. Identity, laughter, and loyalty are expressions of the self that persist even without permission. International's character further serves as a moral mirror for Equality 7 to 2521, where Equality represents reason, intellect, and the active pursuit of truth. International symbolizes emotion, friendship, and human warmth. Moreover, International symbolizes the artist's soul within a collectivist society. The text briefly notes that he has drawn figures upon the walls and made the heads of men and birds and trees with charcoal, an activity strictly forbidden by the council. Art, for Rand, is the expression of an individual's sense of life, an act of selective creation that reflects one's values. Broader implications. On a broader philosophical level, International 4 to 8818 represents the potential for moral awakening within ordinary individuals. Not everyone in Rand's world is a hero or a genius like Equality 7 to 2521. Still, through International, she argues that even the average person has the capacity for choice, affection, and integrity. His act of loyalty, choosing friendship over blind obedience, illustrates Rand's belief in the moral agency of every individual. Freedom begins not with revolution but with a personal decision to value truth or love over fear. International's character also serves as a critique of collectivism's moral contradictions. The Society of Anthem claims to uphold equality and brotherhood, yet it destroys genuine human bonds. It preaches unity, but forbids love. It enforces conformity, but denies compassion. In this context, International's friendship becomes a radical act. His simple humanity exposes the inhumanity of a system that would rather see men isolated and afraid than connected and kind. Furthermore, International's relationship with equality dramatizes one of Anthem's central tensions: the struggle between personal loyalty and ideological obedience. In a world where even smiles must be approved by councils, International's choice to protect his friends signifies the victory of conscience over conformity. At a deeper philosophical level, International 4 to 8818 foreshadows the world that Equality and Liberty 5 to 3000 will eventually build, the world of the I. His affection, creativity, and moral instinct prefigure the human virtues that will define the future civilization of free men. In this sense, International is not merely a secondary character, but a moral prototype of the independent individual Rand idealizes. He shows that the capacity for goodness and beauty remains latent even in those still bound by collectivist chains. Conclusion. In Anthem, International 4 to 8818 is more than a companion or side character. He is the emotional and moral complement to Equality 7-2521's intellectual rebellion. Through his laughter, loyalty, and quiet courage, he represents the enduring spark of humanity that persists beneath the weight of collectivist oppression. Narratively, he provides the protagonist with companionship in a barren world, and plays a crucial role in catalyzing the early acts of rebellion. Symbolically, he embodies the unquenchable human capacity for joy, creativity, and friendship, the values that collectivism cannot destroy. On a broader level, International 4 to 8818 stands as proof of Ayn Rand's fundamental belief that even in the darkest systems, the light of the individual spirit can flicker to life. He does not overthrow the state or write a new philosophy, but he makes a moral choice: to love, to protect, and to remain human. In doing so, he asserts, quietly but unmistakably, the sacred truth that Anthem ultimately proclaims: I am. I think. I will.